Right, welcome everyone to this stream on, I can't remember what I titled it, I think it was Building Performance Dashboards, let's see what it was. Building a Performance Dashboard for an IoT stream using Power BI. So that might be a very broad statement, and it is not just Power BI we're going to be using analysis services as well, to sort of get things up and going, and then serve that up through the Azure Data Gateway, and happiness is. So on the screen we have an import wizard sitting, to create a new product using an import wizard. So I've built this already, so I'm just going to go and siphon out the project. We're going to alter it a little bit, make it work a little bit better because there's a bug in it, and publish it to my local machine, serve it up, connected it through our data gateway, and then build a dashboard in Power BI. Right, so first things first, we need an analysis services project. I'm going to use integrated workspace for this because it's just easier. I'm going to be sucking data out of one of my servers, and let's see, that's what it's called. This is a cube or a data model built to monitor the health of an IoT stream. So we have a Kinesis stream, and then we have consumer or listener that sits and consumes data. And what I'm doing is I'm measuring the latency between the message or the index on the stream, and so the time it was created by the producer and the time it was consumed and stored in a database by the consumer. Make sense, right? This way we know what our latency is in terms of how fresh our data is, how far behind we are, and when sort of warning bells needs to go out, and when we can have other problems with our reporting environment and how we feed data to customers, etc. Right. So there is a couple of things in here I'm not going to touch on because they're proprietary and internal to how we built the listener. But there's a couple of things that we're going to do. So first things first, we have an ETL process that I'm not showcasing here that generates snapshot data. I'm going to show you what the snapshot data looks like because I'm just going to go ahead and process tables. So I just want to suck in the data so we can have a look at it. Yep, lots of rows. Oh boy, that one's not so clever. So this has been going for over a year now. There we go, 500,000 rows of data, and we generate data points every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. So we have, so I just want to make things look a bit prettier. So we've got a time code, so you can see here there's a year, month, day, and then hours and minutes. And then I've got a date ID that I process, and an hour ID. These are sort of bucket-based dimensionalities kind of thing. Then I've got a concept of 3 time or age concepts. So I've got this week, last week, and historical. There's a bug here that needs to be sorted out because as you can see, this record says it's this week, but it's a year ago. And that's obviously, I just took the week number into consideration, so I need to also, this is the bug I need to fix, I need to take the year into consideration as well when I evaluate this week and last week. Historical, yeah, anything that has a, whatever the date latency is, right? So what we are going to do first is just go through this data. So we have sharded data. So we've got 4 shards currently. Right, see them there? From a listener perspective, that's suck data. Latency is process. So this is, I think it's seconds. I think it's latency in seconds. Yes. Yes. So latency is seconds. So that's latency is in minutes. You can see divided by 60. So this is just an average. Just hold on. Excuse me. Didn't mean to sneeze on live stream. But anyway. So latency is the amount of seconds it is taken from the message being created, or the piece of JSON being created and published on a Kinesis stream, an IOT stream, and to the time that the consumer actually wrote this into database. Excuse me. But as we can see, latency can be quite large. There's not all showing. We have lots of latency. We have alarms that start firing after a certain amount of time of latency, and people get woken out of bed, and we try to fix things, or request more resources from our engineering division, etc., etc. Anyway, so what we need to do first is, this provides some transactional data. It gives, I've got 3 measures. So I have a concept of stop time. So you see state, you got running, and you got stopped. So stop time, I just say it's minutes, 5 minutes per stop interval, because there we go. I ETL every 5 minutes. Okay. So which means that stop time. Oh, okay, and we're gonna hit a bit of a break quickly. Hold on. Right, sorry about that. Got interrupted by a phone call from support. Anyway, so we have this concept stop minutes. So if the listener or the consumer gets shut down or enters a stopped state, yeah, because we suck out data every 5 minutes, we make an assumption that, yeah, we had 5 minutes of outage, and sort of that measure kind of sits there. That's okay for us to consume. Anyway, so I've got my transactional monitoring data in. I want to fix this bug on this week, and I just want to transaction with current week. So I've got right. Yeah. Right, so we need to do... Oh man, that's going to be interesting. No, I'm not going to fix this now. I think I don't have time for it, considering that I've only scheduled an hour for the stream. Right, so anyway, there's a bug here. It will get fixed. You will see how the bug manifests itself in the application. I'm just going to add one more column so that we can actually I don't need to add that column because I can add a filter. So I've got dates, so I can add a relative date filter. So that's all good. Alright, never mind. Let's carry on. So if we look at this, we need to publish it somewhere. So we're going to publish this to my local machine. So we're going to deploy and no, stop deployment. Don't want to deploy there. I want to deploy to my local machine. Properties. Right. Yeah. Oh, errors. Show details. Right. So obviously credentials issue somewhere. Table. Oh wait. Sorry. So existing connections. Edit. First nation. Service cat. Ooh. No, no, no. We are going to put my username and password in. So let's drag this off screen. Sorry about this. I will not show you what I'm doing. Right, and put in my super secret password. Hit OK. You have modified. Yes, yes, yes. Test connection. Ooh, test succeeded. Save. Close. And let's go and deploy this bad boy again. Yeah, alright, that looks better. So now it's gonna, my machine is busy sucking 400,000 rows of data. Right, there we go. And we should be able to go and see this somewhere here, right? Yeah, happiness is, there it is. And we got a, we can browse this, sorry, browse this data model, and we should be able to throw some OLAP queries into it. So let's say measure average latency by batch age. Oh. Right, there we go. Happiness says, and it runs. Right, so yeah, we're good. We have a published data model. We are now going to make the data set available in Power BI. So I'm just going to quickly jump onto Power BI. Right, sign in here, and let's go manage the gateways. So I've got a gateway server running on one of my servers. But what I want to do is I want to obviously set up a new data set for my laptop. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go data source. It's analysis services, right? Yes. We're going to call this just call it something. Server is right. We're gonna see what my host name is. So here's a little bit. So that is my laptop's name. Right. Paste, hopefully resolve that. Database name is, what was our magical database name? It was Performance Dashboard. Right. And then we go add. And oh, unable to communicate. So we have some invalid connection credentials. Okay, so we're getting access denied, which is fine. Let me just try my password again. Let's see if this works. No, it doesn't work. Right, what we're going to do then is we are going to, this is annoying. I want to know what is going on. Let's see if we're getting an access denied. So how we do that is we are going to go to a profiler. Open up profiler against my analysis services instance. Yeah, that's good. We can start running. And then we go back to this guy, and we go, oh, let's try to add again. And then we go back to our profiler, and we see if there's anything funny happening. Still trying. It doesn't look like we're getting anything. Doesn't look like anything hits the analysis services. I got no access denied, no incorrect user, no nothing, no connection attempts whatsoever. Okay, we can stop this profiler session. So we know that it's probably a networking issue. So I know that I can communicate on this protocol from my laptop to the server, and obviously because I'm sitting here. And I know that I can go here and go, let's connect to an analysis service instance on the server with a gateway setting, for instance, which is this box. And it goes, oh, there it is. I can speak to it. I can query data. I can, oopsie daisy. Connection forcibly closed. Right. But I can interrogate this machine, right? So that means that there's something else wrong, and I would suspect there's my local firewall settings. So let's just go and have a look at that. And I'm gonna do some really bad practice. Now, ooh, yes. Turn on or off. Let's see if we can switch it off. Turn off that, turn off that, turn off that. This is really bad. Please don't do this. This is only for the demo. I promise I will switch this back on. Alright? That's just my troubleshooting. Let's go and try again. Add. Oh, look at that! It works. So my laptop was blocking this thing. So what I just did was really, really bad. Please never do that. Rather open up a port and get that thing to speak. So yeah, bad practice. Don't do what I just did. Okay, great. So now we got some data source. We have some access. I just need to quickly map my Power BI public, my Office 365 SPN to my internal SPN, because we've got an old domain we're using, so we need to fix this. So it is, I'm going to do this off screen, sorry guys, but this is where you would do like janesmith@yourdomain.com to jsmith@ myinternaldomain.local mapping. Okay, this piece here you have to read up on and fix. Okay, so I'm just going to map all internal to my username, and this is how user security works. The row-based security will sort of function if you're using that as well. Well, it's what happens when Power BI queries the how the impersonation works, so they know which user to use. So I'm just hiding my information from you. Just give me a second. I'll just add it. I hit OK. I don't think I have any problems with that. Right, so there we go. We have now I've now mapped myself. I'm not going to show you. To this data source, right? So I should have access to this. So now we're going to do what you first do. So obviously you need to have a placeholder. So we're gonna go and create a workspace for this. So we go my monitoring dashboards, right? So we need to create a dashboard, right, or workspace. You're going to have your monitoring dashboards, right? Now, if you want to use one of or be able to use data sets, you need to add them to your workspace, right? So we add a database. So this is, we're now going to hook in the analysis services database. So let's connect to that. Sorry, just want to check that I'm streaming. Yes, I am still streaming, and my voice is going, and no one has fallen asleep yet. Right, there it is, listener test. Right here, if I hadn't mapped my username, it would have thrown an error, and I wouldn't be able to see this. Right, so let's just connect to that data model, and it's now imported into my workspace when this swirly thing finishes. So it's busy speaking to my laptop and getting some metadata and some sample data and some other stuff, so it understands what it's looking at. Okay, and obviously this now is suffering. There we go. Right, great. So if we go into my monitoring dashboard workspace, we have to reload it. Sorry, reload it, and my monitoring dashboard. Oh, datasets. Why don't I have any datasets? This is interesting. Where did they go? Let's try that again. So mysteriously, it never arrived. So we're going to test that again. Connect. There we go. I can see it now. Right. So first things first. The default names are not that meaningful and useful. So we're going to rename this to something. So we're going to remove the model thing, and then we're going to go performance dashboard data. Right, great. There you go. There's a data set. We click on that, and the bit of the metadata of the thing will come up. Okay, so we're all good. Now we know this functions. Now, here's the second part. So we're not going to build this dashboard in the web service, and there's a good reason for that. If we build it in the web service, we can never put it in a source control or share it with someone and they can edit and improve it and then upload a new version of it. It can only be edited in an online version. We can never back it up. Okay, so we want to be able to make sure that we future-proof this thing. So we're not going to do anything in the web as far as in the web interface or Power BI as far as building this dashboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up Power BI desktop, and please excuse it's busy. There's an update available. This is a slightly out-of-date version, so not all visuals and aesthetics will work, but enough for us to build a meaningful dashboard. Yes. I'm already logged in, so I can just go and say get data from Power BI services. So if you're using the analysis service gateway, use that. There are more things. So how we would do this, if this was a some form of production scalable solution we had built, we would probably have an Azure analysis services database up and running for this, but we don't. So what you do is you use the Power BI service if you're using the gateway to connect to analysis services. So click there, boom, and then you get your workspaces. So we had my monitoring dashboard, and in there, oh, I created it twice. So it did happen the first time, it just didn't populate. So you click that one, go load, and we have all our measures and dimensions. Cool. So first things we want to do when we're building a dashboard is we obviously want to have some form of landing page that, or some dashboard that tells us some valuable information. Since this is latency, and I know I have historical training data, I want to see I want to see a graph. I want to see a line graph, right? So let's go and create a line graph. On that thing, I'd like to know my average message latency. I'd like to drop in date would be great. Right, so we can at least see what does it look like. And then this is okay, but there's too much data here, and it's sort of do I care about the historical for my dashboard when I'm landing? No, not really. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a slicer, or insert a slicer. Right, and remember I said we have this concept of, or I'd added this concept of data ages. Right, so we're going to put that batch age into the slicer. So I've got this week, last week, and historical. So that is, obviously you might want to overlay this week and last week, right? Because you might want to see what it looks like in terms of how good were your performance this week versus what happened last week. So if you go this week, it goes and as you can see, we have a problem with with overlap. There's a bug for this, but we're going to sort that filter out. So one thing that's really awesome is that we've got relative date filters now. So if we go and say I want on this report, on this dashboard, I want a date filter on the page, and I want it to be a relative date, and I want to see in the last 6 months, right? Not 6 months. Okay, and by applying that, we should have a whole bunch of data disappearing, which we don't. That's very interesting. Why was the filter not applied? Maybe I was just being silly. Let's try that again. Relative filter in the last 6 months. Oh, apply filter. Sorry, I missed that one. Right, and yeah, that looks a lot better. So now if we go this week, we only see this week's data, and if we see last week, we only see last week's data. Okay, so yeah, a little bit, and then we can go say historical, and we see the last 6 months. Well, everything but the last 2 weeks. Right. This way we can now put these dimensions also into the graph. So if we go and, well, it won't necessarily make sense for this one because we'll have 3 different colors and they'll all connect, or they should all connect. Let's just see if it makes sense to do this at all. Damn it. So try to get up. We're just going to do this. Scroll up, batch age, put it into legend, and that didn't work. Yeah, there we go. This week, so if we unselect one, we should have 3 different colors, and we can see them: green, red, and historical. So if we go that one and control click and select that one, yeah, that doesn't really tie in nicely. Yeah, it's not really good for this graph. So let's take that out because it doesn't work. Right? Take that out. Be gone with you, evil, evil, evil. Right, so we're going to leave the filter off and leave this where it is. So here you got your historical trend. Then what we want to do is we're going to do this. We're going to look at the. I want to put in the dates as. So I want to do something similar. I want to do my average message latency. I want to do it by hour. So this is hour of the day as an axis. So I've got 24 blocks, right? But then from a legend perspective, I'd like to have my not date. Yes, I'd like to have my date in, right? Boy, and this is by the hour, so that's bad. That's the wrong date. We should probably put in the date ID because I don't have. Yes, date ID. Right, so we see by date. So if we go and say this week and I want to see last week, you can actually see what happened. But this is the wrong chart. We do it that way. And this is too small. And the color scheme is atrocious. But you can basically overlay the last 2 weeks worth of, well, sorry. Click in this week too. Right, so you can see where you are at the moment by hour, right, of the day, and you can sort of see what happened by date. So you can overlay. You can see what the last 2 days look like, or last 2 weeks look like, if you overlay them. Okay, so that's the one thing, and then we're going to use a statistical chart, a box and whisker. A box and whisker to show the actual distribution. So I think we need to add that, import that as a custom visual. So we just need to find one. And so we want, I think they put on their advanced analytics. This one is really good, by the way. Box and whisker chart. I don't know if this is any good, but we're going to try it. Yeah, this will do. This is good. We add that one, and we got it. Yes, warning, warning. There could be code involved that will be harmful. Right, so we're going to do something very similar. We want, obviously, to have the date ID as a category. We want our values to be our average values, and we want our sampling by. Am I making a mistake now? Trying to no, there we go, perfect. Right, so now if we go and say this week, only we'll see this week, okay, and I've got things wrong here. I need to fix this because I get now dates by sampling. I don't want the date for sampling. I care about the hours. Hours for sampling. The hours? I said category. Hours. There you go. That's what I wanted. Right. So now we see distribution, and they look very, very, very neat. Okay, that's interesting. Last week should look different. Yes, there you go. Perfect. Right. So obviously we're looking at age in seconds. So average latency here is the amount of seconds of latency. We just want to sort of make everyone understand that. So if we look at historical, we got Holy Mother of St. Mary. We have 63,000 seconds. Right. Very bad. Is this a minute one? So I think I have a measure in minutes. Yes, minutes is probably better for looking at this, unless you're running really high performance. But anyway, what I want to show, and we system people or developers or architects or engineers, we often fail to think about statistical analysis on our dashboards. And there's something really, 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 really important about using a chart type like a box and whisker. That, you know, if you want to look at your distribution, you must understand that if you got problems, so if we look at last week, for instance, right, and we can see that there was times last week when we had this massive issue around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, where our maximum value was 168. Well, this is not so much of an issue because this is seconds. 168 seconds, right? And we see our minimum value peaking in at 15 seconds, right? So we know that there's only 7 samples in this, obviously, because there were 7 days in that week. But if we start looking at historical thing, and we want to know when did we have issues, and you can see we have most of our issues or peaks happened round about midday. So we know that on average midday is really, really stressful. And again, the example is really, really bad because there were some really, really bad days when we had some real system problems. But it's nice to be able to see these distributions, because you know that if you need to scale down on maintenance, or when can you run maintenance because there's quiet times or things are good, this is actually quite a good tool to have. The ability to look at past performance and say that, I know that historically, if you look at all my sample sets, I know that I have most latency in my data, which means most stress on my systems round about midday here, and I know that I have least amount of stress on the system round about at 9 o'clock at night. So running maintenance, and in all fairness, we run maintenance here, and that's why it goes up again. But if you're running maintenance, this is a good time to run maintenance. Most of the reporting runs our heavy reporting runs here, but we have continual reporting throughout the day. But yeah, so yeah, this is quite a nice one. So we're gonna flip this into this week and last week. What I want to do as well as I just want to throw in some of these guys and go, my average message latency in minutes. And also it would be nice to see if we had some stop time. So we've got the stop minute measure as well, so we can throw that guy in too. We do that the same way. We go there and we go, I want stop minutes. Oh, and we had none. In fact, I don't know how much downtime we've had. Oh, we've had some stop minutes. But yeah, so I just want to filter this. I want to save this as something. Save as my listener dashboard. Right, and now I want to publish this to my workspace because it's always great to publish. So we go publish, and yeah, got it. It's all good. If we go back to here, and we go to here, we have we need to reload. There you go. There we have my report. And there it is. That's my workbook. Now we can take this one step further, and we can say, well, I actually want to create an app. So we need to generate a dashboard first. We'll pin this to a dashboard. So we go pin my page, new dashboard. And we're going to call this stream latency dashboard. Right, I'd like to see this guy on it. Oh, I called it Striel. Right, that was bad. I don't want this whole thing. I just want a couple of visuals on there. I'd like to see the full trend on it. That would be good. And I think that's enough for now. Right. I think that's enough for now. So then we go to to my Striel. Let's see if we can rename this thing. Also, we must take this guy away. Bye bye. Delete. Don't care about you. I need to know about you, and I need to know. Oh, sorry. Let's go back to the dashboard. I'm going somewhere with this. Please be patient. Drop you across. Yeah, we'll do the stop minutes too. Let's just go there and add you to my dashboard. There you go. So now it's symmetrical, and this is the start of a nice dashboard. Cool. Now, I obviously want this as an app. Why Workspace? How do I get this as an app? Right. There you go. Publish app. So I want to Striel. I love that. I need to rename this. This is not hello. How do I rename? There we go. Stream latency dashboard. Right, and then we go publish app. Right, so this is my my stream monitoring dashboard. I like that background color. Right, content. So specific content. We want to start with the dashboard, and then you can obviously click out and into it, and then access we don't really have to worry about. I'm just going to say entire organization, and I'm going to finish. No, I'm not specific people or groups, and finish. All fields with an asterisk. I'm just going to put myself in there. Yes. Okay, so yeah, let's go to the app, and it should work. And it hasn't. Ah, there we go. It appeared. My monitoring dashboard. Yay! Right. Not sure why it didn't auto load data. It should have. Why didn't it auto load? Okay, well it says the try report. Maybe it's got an issue with landing on the dashboard. Okay, right, so now it lands there and we can then go out. Right, so if we go apps, there you go. Happiness says you land on this guy, you can, well, it should have landed on this guy. It's very slow sucking data from my machine. Right. Also, maybe we should prove a point that this is actually sucking data from our machine. So let's go and jump onto my local machine. Where is my, I had this open. There we go, tools, profiler. Just in case you don't believe that that it is actually me or sucking data from our machine. So if we go back to Power BI here, you can see in the background we've got the dashboard or the thing. Let's just click into the dashboard and we want to go and start slicing things. You can see it runs queries in the background. Happiness says it's really sucking data out of my machine. We're running all sorts of funny queries. Right, cool. And that, I think, is a conclusion of the session. Obviously, there's tons of things you can do from here. You can make better visuals. You can flavor your data sets. I would have liked to have weekdays in. I wanted to. You can create some custom dimensions based, pull in day names, so you can say, look at what my performance looks like on a Monday versus Sunday, and I know my performance is worse on a Monday because I have more transactions on a Monday because of the nature of the business. And yeah, there's lots you can do. Anyway, I hope that this was informative. Oh yeah, other things that are also, I alluded to the fact that if you built this on the web, you could never go and publish it or alter it, and that is true because I should be able to. I'm going to eat my words now. If I go to my monitoring dashboards, we go to reports and we open up the report, I can now download the PBIX file. Right. Whereas I can't do that if, and I'm going to show you what happens. So if I go here and I build this, and I go and I'm just going to build something really, really simple. Doesn't have to be anything. File, save as, I'll call it my online test. We save this. Right, if you then go and open, sorry, there we go, this, you want to download it, you see there's grayed out. So if it wasn't built in Power BI Desktop, it will you will never be able to suck this out. For source control, to migrate it to a different workspace, because that's another thing that I'll touch in another video, and I'll flash a card up here somewhere around that video. I have another Power BI video where I talk about how to manage environments for your development, test or staging, UAT, and then production. So I'll flash a card up here with a link to that video. And that video tells you why you should use Power BI Desktop as an IDE, because it just makes your life easier going forward. At some point, I'll also show you an effective way of using source control for this kind of stuff. So we'll look at Visual Studio, Visual Source Safe or Visual Studio Team Services, and so how we can checking code and that sort of thing with Power BI. It is slightly unorthodox and different from traditional source control because obviously these are compiled files, so it won't really work the same way as we're used to. But anyway, I hope this was informative. If you want to see more content like this, then please like and subscribe. And I am committed to publishing content at least twice a week. I hope you guys had a good time. Enjoy.